Hello everyone, and welcome to the first of what is probably to be many videos in a series. This series, titled Top 10 Blanks You've Never Heard Of, will help open your artistic doors and show you some things which may be hard to come across on your own. Today we discuss some of my favorite tunes which seem to be pretty rare. Without further ado, let's jump in. Coming in at number 10 is a song called Birds and the Bees by The Bird and the Bee. This is a nice little pop tune. Although it may not blow your mind, it's very chill and pleasant to listen to. I'd say the whole album is, really. Now honestly, I struggle to properly decipher the lyrics on this one. To me, the song takes on the thought processes of a young child trying to figure out what is going on in the world. For example, while playing and collecting rocks in the river, the child asks how the water can get up into the mountains as it does. However, a little later on, the singer asks why only the birds can fly, being able to move to a warmer climate whenever they please. The singer, of course, wishes to fly like the birds and join them in warmer weather. This could perhaps be talking about getting stuck at a certain place in life, whether it be a particular job or living arrangement. The writer sees all of these hot shots passing by, starting new businesses and getting bigger houses, and wonders why they too cannot be like these people. Take a listen.
Why do the birds do all the flying? It could be me.
Next up is a piece by Piebald titled Haven't Tried It. I would definitely classify this as pop punk, which was my favorite genre for the longest time. When I first listened to All Ears, All Eyes, All the Time, this song's album, this piece stuck out to me as being incredibly catchy, and I felt as if there was some deeper meaning which I did not understand. Going back to it a few years later, I can easily see that the song is taking on the perspective of many American Indian groups when Europeans started flooding the continent. I first started to suspect this when I read the lines, "Take all their stuff and pave over their land," and "Great communicator, no time to wait, you are no leader." This assumption became solid with the line, "Charming Wasichu, it is not so nice to meet you." The word Wasichu being derived from the Sioux language and referring to a non-indigenous, usually white, person. Tell me what you think of this one.
Charming Wasichu, it is not so nice to meet you. Evolution, stop right here or now.
For number 8, we have a relatively obscure song from a little more well-known band. That song is Keep My Name Out of Your Mouth by Hot Hot Heat. I'll admit I was not a fan of this song when I first heard it. Nonetheless, I went ahead and purchased the CD because I was, and still am, a fan of Hot Hot Heat. Since then, the album and this song especially have really grown on me. It is definitely an intense, thrash-your-head-to-it song, and I love how relentlessly energized it is. I can't help but to at least give the smallest of head bops to the song whenever it plays. As for lyrical content, this seems to me like a relationship gone wrong. The two lovers were flying high in, quote, that 747 heart of yours, but a bomb went off and both would have plummeted to the ground had the protagonist not brought a parachute. Now the protagonist watches his former lover drowning, unable to swim in the sea below. Warning to headphone users, this one's gonna happen. Following that thrasher is another hard-hitting piece called Stampede by Blaster the Rocket Man. I will preface this one by saying I do not generally listen to Christian music as I am not Christian, but this band just proved so entertaining and unique that I had to pick up the CD when I found it at a thrift shop. This song, which sounds like a mix of country and punk with some vocals from a drugged-out Elvis Presley, takes on the role of a cowboy wrangling up a multifarious multitude of intergalactic cattle. This song is quite obviously about gathering the devil's followers, presumably killing them and eating them, as evidenced by the line, "Let's round us up some supper, boys." However, as they shoot down the starship, these devilish cows get loose and begin a stampede. How do you feel about it? Look who decided to intrude. Look who decided to intrude. Look at this thing. Alright, bye-bye. After all that energy, let's relax a bit with number 6's Folk Tune. Written and performed by Ethan Miller, Declaration of War is a very strong political statement against big corporations, certain members of the government, and all of the greed which befoul these institutions. Created in 2002, part of this song discusses some less than fair ideals and actions which pervaded as a result of the attacks the prior September. Additionally, Miller takes great issue with political lobbyists who are able to pay large sums of money in order to get the laws which they wish to see. He argues that the United States is being run less by its citizens and more by big oil, the top 1%, and Walmart superstores in particular. Were Amazon the mega brand that it is now, I'm sure they would have been called out as well. In all honesty, I wholeheartedly believe that Amazon needs to go, but that's a different rant. I hope you enjoy this little-known artist.
Who are they anyway? Who can give us our freedom and then with one vote they can take it all away?
Look who's back, everybody! He is my sweet boy, and I love him very much, but he gets everything all hairy. Now he doesn't want to be here, even though this is right here. Alright, pal. Greener pastures. Greener pastures elsewhere. Let's get some positive songs into the mix now. This piece, Happy New Year by Deathray, is one of my favorite conclusions to an album. It is so inexplicably satisfying and well produced, and I can't help but love it despite its simplicity. The song starts off very soft, but you can tell that there's a bit of tension in the singer's voice. Soon, the song erupts with a powerful guitar as the singer discusses the things which flood people's minds at the end of the year. This expresses anxiety about the closing of an era in one's life, fearing what's to come next, and wishing to grasp onto the life which is falling behind them. The singer says that it's okay to feel this way, but that we have to move on to what's to come. It's a brand new year, quotes Deathray, and we get a fresh start to do something else. The song ends with a young voice repeating the chorus, perhaps expressing that this is what our younger selves had been looking forward to for so many years. Do you feel the same way, or do you think this song means something else?
It's a brand new year. Get your makeup, matching case. Tell you something.
This is a whopper of a song, and the only one that I have on vinyl. For number 4, coming in at just over 9 minutes long, Scaffolding by the Island of Misfit Toys has 4 or 5 distinct sections within it with 4 or 5 distinct styles. The lyrics are so poetic and brimming with vibrant imagery. A couple lines of particular weight are, "All my songs have caught the sniffles," "My dogs are soaking wet with molten lead," and "I'm split wide with a head full of sirens." If you want to get the full story of what this song is trying to explain, you'll have to listen to it and read the lyrics for yourself, because there is a ton to unpack. Even then, the singer admits that the lyrics aren't enough to express these feelings of purposelessness, dismay, angst, uncertainty, and even rebirth. In the end, however, it is shown that our protagonist's friends are the ones who put together their scaffolding and stability. I'd really like for you to listen to this one in its entirety, and let me know what you think in the comments section below. Here are a couple little samples. The link, as with the other songs, will be posted in the video's description, so you can see all of them right there.
My dogs are soaking wet with molten lead. Wipe off the goo, slide through the slit.
Getting into the top 3, this song technically doesn't qualify for songs you've never heard of because the most viewed video has over 100,000 views. However, I desperately wanted to share it with you. This song is by a person who has become an internet icon to some and to complete obscurity to the rest of the world. His name is Tonetta, he's standing up here, and his song is I Get a Little at a Time. I don't actually have a copy of this one for real, because he doesn't really release his albums physically. He only puts them on Bandcamp, so I had to buy a few songs, put them on a good old CDR. Now, this one is incredibly catchy, sweet, and juxtaposes a lot of Tony's other work. Whereas it's common to find a lot of demonetizable content in his other songs, including but not limited to drug use and intimate acts, this piece just expresses Tony's yearning for love from another person. It would seem that the two lovers had been romantically entangled for a while, but never did anything to ensure the relationship's continued success and durability. Tonetta expresses everything that he loves about this mystery individual, stating how he wishes to make them all his and solidify the relationship, perhaps by marriage or explicit verbal commitment. Try not to let this get stuck in your head. Or do. I don't care. I'm not your parent.
Honey, when are you gonna be all mine? Honey.
Top 2, baby, what'll it be? Well, to follow up Tonetta's song about love and hopefully coming closer together, it's only fitting that we discuss another love song. In contrast, however, this one is about being split apart, perhaps forever. Performed by the Blackheart Procession, we have Blue Tears. When I first listened to this album, I wasn't sure if I wanted to buy it or not. This piece was what did it for me, and I hadn't even paid attention to the lyrics at that point. Blue Tears begins with what feels like a somber breath of an electric organ, soon joined by a soft guitar. The two continue their song as the vocals make their entrance, eventually joined by a muted trumpet. Through the words, it is revealed that this man is going off to war on a ship, leaving his lover behind at the dock. He can't stop himself from crying, feeling now as if he is completely alone. However, it's not only himself that he feels bad for. He expresses that his blue tears are falling for his lover, showing that he is most saddened by the fact that she too will be alone, especially if the war claims his life. Cries from captains and crewmates pervade the song at its beginning and end, helping to properly convey the scene which the piece takes place. The choice of instruments, tune, and tempo all work to show that there is some glimmer of hope, but that it is almost entirely overshadowed by this depression of perhaps forever leaving someone who has changed your life. I'm glad I got to delve into this one a little bit further than before. Before we get to number 1, I'd just like to thank you for sticking around this far. I get the feeling that this video will probably be demonetized, so a like and a subscribe would be great. That being said, let's finish it off with another more well-known band, the Dead Milkmen. I was surprised to find that the song actually qualified for my less than 100,000 rule, as I was thinking a lot more people would have known this song. Unfortunately, I actually don't own a copy of this song in its original form. I have a cover by a band called Misfit. This is the only thing I have to show for it. I need to get this album. It's great. Anyway, it seems that there aren't a ton of people who have actually heard Watching Scotty Die, which is to me one of the Dead Milkmen's best songs. Similarly to Ethan Miller's piece, although almost 20 years older and sounding a lot more like country punk, the Milkmen were singing about these big corporations, industries, and factories destroying the planet. They explain how, in turn, the lives of the people and creatures around them are being forever altered. Quote, "The chemical plant across the street has left the protagonist in a miserable state, hurtling towards death. Doctors line up to perform tests on poor Scotty while the world around him continues to change. The factories poison all which surrounds them, staining and marking the people, their possessions, and even their beloved pets. The worst part is that the chemical man doesn't seem to care, and based on the singer's tone, he doesn't seem to care either. Everyone has just gotten so used to this way of life that no one questions it anymore, while Scotty lay, dying, in a crowded room full of tools which cannot save him. All the while, God and the singer take turns laughing uncontrollably about the terrible pain and destruction which continues to worsen with each passing day. It's messages like these that we truly have to remember when we make decisions about who and what we support. Here's a snippet of the song, and I'll see you in the next one.